blanketed the university. It's about a three-mile long area, so links up to 3 miles, blanketed the campus with coverage, and then there's client devices all along the campus tram system that allow students to remain connected, and they'll expand on it from there. We're also working with a nearby a county that's just near the campus, where what they are in the process of just about to begin deploying is a TV white space network to provide connectivity to 3,000 unserved homes and small businesses. They only have dial-up service. And what they're doing here is combining wireless backhaul over links that could be 10 miles long to base station hubs that will then use white space to client devices that serve homes and clusters of homes throughout the areas of the county. And this is a very heavily forested and hilly area where conventional wireless wouldn't work very well. So TV white space also magnifies other benefits of unlicensed spectrum. Just a few examples. This was mentioned before, offload. Wi-Fi is already offloading more than 35% of mobile device traffic in the United States. That's projected to increase to about 70% in 4 years. And consumers prefer it. And it's very important to realize that particularly with video is driving device demand, data demand, and 80% of mobile device demand is actually nomadic. In other words, it's used indoors or close to a wire line, not truly mobile in most cases. And this is particularly an urban phenomenon, obviously. But again, more unlicensed, more shared spectrum, critical to that. Some believe that TV white space will have its greatest impact on machine-to-machine applications. Billions of connected devices will comprise the Internet of Things and really greatly improve productivity in all sorts of ways, from farms to factories, intelligent transportation to the wireless home and office. So this is something, if you're looking ahead, why TV white space will be important. Same in healthcare. In the United States, 80% of medical monitoring and telehealth is done on open, unlicensed spectrum, not carrier frequencies. The same is true with smart grid. The final thing I'll mention is, and again, this is kind of on the broader theme of opening more white space, right? More beyond the TV bands even. Last summer, President Obama's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology put out a report that I commend to you to read, and it advised the president to issue an executive order stating that the policy of the U.S. government is to share all underutilized federal spectrum. And it identified 1,000 megahertz of federal spectrum for sharing with the private sector, beginning with the 3550 to 3700 megahertz band. And there's already a proceeding at our FCC to do that. And this is important because just like the TV band, our military, and I think this is probably true in Europe and other places, has at least 1,000 megahertz of spectrum that is really not used in most places at most times. And that's capacity that could be opened on a shared basis with the private sector, creating true spectrum abundance. And the PCAST went further on to recommend a framework for this, a 3-tier hierarchy of access, so the federal users like radar systems would be protected from interference using, again, a database system, building on the TV band's database. There could be secondary access, which would be priority access users, secondary licensing, and then a general underlay of unlicensed, opportunistic access, like the TV white space. And there would be a spectrum access system, which again is an enhanced version of the TV band's database. So we can add, there's no reason to limit the TV band's database to the TV frequencies. Once you have that in place, you can add other bands to it and create more spectrum abundance. Sensing can be added to that as an input to make access more efficient. And then the very final thing I'll mention and this is more for your reference later, is the advantages of building on the TV bands database. So don't think of it as just being an investment that's limited to the TV bands, as important as that is, but it's very useful because really there's no permanent assignments and no tragedy of the commons. In other words, as somebody mentioned earlier, I think, yeah, in fact, it was gentleman from Google was saying that about the thing about the database is that you can always change the assignments and change the allocations, and the database conforms to it. And so you don't have consumers screaming that their devices don't work anymore. So very much unlike today's Wi-Fi. It also allows for preemption, shutdown, priority access, and you can, as technology advances, dynamic device management. And I will stop there. One last slide just for in terms of philosophy. Rules of the road, that like public highways and open shipping lanes, unlicensed sharing is more efficient than exclusive licenses when we're talking about particularly low power use. Thank you.